Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and let's look back at compliance here for a moment. Now, before we get into all this, before we get into all this, I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagro, Timothy, Sertoyjet, Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and the great Hoffmanator. Don't thank you guys enough for support over on Patreon. But everybody else, all I really ask is, you lick that like button, you post a comment. Lawless has been great at doing that. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask anybody to do. A little bit of interaction is all that I ask. Right. And again, I'm doing two right now series of Hearts of Iron. One, this back in black ice. Cue the AC/DC music. Here, we are looking mostly at the campaign in Russia with this one. I don't know how long we will go on this, but we will go for some more time for sure. And I am looking, it's also going to be a short series looking at the economy, the new economy for the Hearts of Iron 4's current Black Ice version, and at some point after that, maybe a more serious German playthrough. I know a lot of German stuff here, but it seems to be popular. So, just to let you know what is on my mind and what I'm thinking. Okay, well, these guys are here. German Reserve Fleet in Brittany, sitting here, not doing too much. Let's put you out. Not convoy raiding in the Central Atlantic Gap. Now, we're going to change gears a little bit. Why is this called the Mid-Atlantic Gap? And I've only really heard it called the Mid-Atlantic Gap. They're just sort of Central Atlantic Gap to give it another name. What does this mean? Why is this here? And this is a World War II term. I don't know that it's used in any other context. It was the air coverage gap. You know, the if you didn't know, folks, the world is a globe. It is round. It is not flat. So some of these places, Scotland and Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, New Scotland, and Iceland and Greenland, are a bit more close together, and Iceland is a lot smaller, than down here. So this is where it's sort of, fatter, if you will. This map, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's doing a decent job as being a flat map to play the war on. And between taking air coverage from Iceland, some air coverage from Greenland, air coverage from Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, and coming off of, Scotland and Northern Ireland, all this area would get a certain level of air coverage for convoys. What does air coverage do? Well, on this side of the map, it actually will deal with shooting down enemy aircraft, particularly the Condors. The Condor aircraft was designed as a transatlantic aircraft that wasn't a float plane, wasn't a seaplane of any sort. They could take off from Germany and fly to North America, particularly the U.S., without having to do any other stops. And it could do that reasonably well. Now, obviously, if you're going, you can't do that without having a friendly place to refuel on the other side. So it can get not quite halfway, if you will. Does have to worry about flying around England. And of course, once you get out here, you get a little bit more extension for it. It can fly out, but it needs a little bit of loitering time. It doesn't really matter if you get here and then immediately have to turn around and just pure, fly there and turn around and come back. You got to be able to come out and wander around a little bit and look around and then come back. And so aircraft, including big, Sunderland flying boats, at times would engage the Condors. Because they were made to fly transatlantic, they're very weak because they want to save as much weight as possible. And so they, I think, lost more on landings than any other reason because they were reasonably strong enough. And I'm half guessing that they were landing with their armament. That's just a guess on my side. They go out and fly around, look for enemy targets, with some bombs on them, and don't see any, targets, ships to drop them on, keep them on board and land with them, and have a problem. But that's just a guess. It just may be simply stress. Um, so, strong enough to fly in the air normally, but you stress them out either maneuvering them or, like on landing after long things, they break to be able to do. So, but also submarines either attacking submarines or just keeping the submarines under the water. Submarines moved slowly under the water, and they do so without um, coverage. So, and you when they move slowly, convoys move faster than they do. So they don't know. And what does they can go through the Labrador Sea? Well, yes, here we do have some submarines sunk up. A bunch of convoys there. The Mid-Atlantic Gap is something that they couldn't just go through. It really did sort of come up to a point that they had to go through the Mid-Atlantic Gap. It wasn't just something they could quote unquote go around like you can on this map. Now, eventually, two things happen. One, aircraft ranges are improved. Two, more and more escort carriers are out there. Yeah, and also realize I don't know when they get a proper airbase up in um, Denmark or a proper airbase up in Iceland as well. I say proper because I do know that they were, because I've seen some photos, running, it was like 43 or 44, running the PBY 5s, the big, nice PBYs, out of Iceland, still and these were pure flying boats out of Iceland because they were flying boats and not the amphibious version. The flying boat was the first version of it, which has to take off and land in water. The later production, or I think they entirely switch over to it, it also has wheels on it that can be retracted or put down, or to land on the land. So they're amphibious, do both. There's still a good reason to have a pure flying boat in that they're lighter weight, so they can operate longer, which could mean longer range, or just sitting up here flying in circles or figure eights looking for enemy aircraft. So there are reasons to keep them as pure flying boats, but also they very well just may have not had enough amphibians around. And they do build an airbase up here, and so I don't. And an airbase isn't just a flat bit of land that an aircraft can land on. It's having refueling supplies, having maintenance people, and all that stuff. So for a while, I don't know, and it's a it goes the Mid-Atlantic Gap is as an actual air gap goes away, I think, by like 1944 or so, maybe even 43. So it's just around for a while that they can't get around effectively. Because even though these are closer in real life, this is a bit more over here and a bit smaller and a bit primitive, and this is even more primitive of a place. So that early on they're not flying a lot out of there to effectively. And we have this, I know, this one. We'll get to the battles here real soon. So we are doing some naval operations now. Up here, we are sort of holding here that we're having units fall back. We are having supply problems, but we have now finally effectively cut off Leningrad. They do not have sea or land resupply, and I don't know if they're doing air resupply. So mentioning that, what we're going to do here, we have aircraft around. Yay! We are trying to win the air battles. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this unit here. We're going to fly them up here, back here, so that we have supplies for them. We're going to come into here, and we are going to air coverage the Leningrad area. And similarly down here, we're giving up the fight in some areas, but another to hopefully do that. That will help us. And now that I'm thinking about it, what we're going to do, and we had our CAS aircraft devastated in earlier battles. We're going to move these guys up to, well, maybe to here. Yeah, then we can fully get over there with ground support. So we'll have some of that. There. Now we are entering spring, April here, so it's no longer great big wintry, snowy situations. Let's move you back up to there, I think. They pushed in between our units here. They have, or I don't know, maybe we pushed in around them. What we are going to do here is, that is a fortified, yeah, not with a pillbox, not a full land. Okay. So, and they're moving, so they're not dug in. So we're going to hit them here. 2 divisions. And there are no defenses, so we're going to hit them with that division. Hopefully just cut that unit off. That's sort of the goal, the idea. Okay, this, yeah, a little bit fortified, not massively. Okay, we've had problems getting across this river here, but we've got this town. It has a supply hub. Let's check the supply. Okay, so we are able to supply 40 factors, and we have 46 trying to supply through there. These guys are beyond. Okay, these guys are beyond the supply setup here. Now, I will say it takes like 9 months to build a supply center. It takes a lot shorter time to build a port. Are we still building this port? I hope so. Actively building it. Yeah, that is up there. Good. We're almost done with that, which will give us a supply center shorter to the front. And we are expediting some railway improvements there. Good. I think I get the idea that if it just takes, oh, I don't know, 10 days, it's just too easy to do a supply dump. You can just dump them anywhere. But about 9 months is way too long. 90 days might be a decent time to build one. Okay, so looking at the supply situation here, we are going to pause in some of the pushes here. Hello, Frog Eyes. If your commanders can add traits, you have a fair amount of Yes. Let's see if we have a good trait here. Aggressive assaulter. Team. Unyielding defender. Entrenchment expert. We have that. Charismatic. Division recovery rate 10%. Thorough max planning. I don't do planning. Fast planning. Planning speed. So we're gonna do charismatic, which I don't know if you would really call von Rundstedt charismatic, but division recovery rate would be nicer. So we'll do that. And we're looking at the field marshals first here. Organization, first reinforcement rate, initiative. We'll do that. And over here. We'll hold off on a little bit of that. Ah, well, if I'm improving your life at all, I'm very happy. I'm very happy indeed. Okay, well, let the clock roll here. We're having critical operations here. Units falling back, because mostly lack of supply. I mean, they're being attacked, but it's being attacked while being out of good supply levels. There is Moscow. That is how close we are fighting to Moscow. We've just taken another province, which may be a bit... Okay, these guys are going to attack here to prevent them from reinforcing, and those guys are going to support that attack. Oh, no, not everybody's retreating from up here. We do have some units that are in a bad way, but are not retreating. Okay. Permanent supply lines we just got. Very good. That hopefully will help out. Where was I want to... Here. Okay, so permanent supply lines, which grants more consumer goods to factories, which means that planning speed down, but railway construction speed up by 15%. Loot force 1, winter equipment production. Well, we're exiting winter. Learn Soviet armored designs. One of the ones I remember from 2 weeks ago, I do actually remember, I forget who suggested it. Upgrade some of the highways, or what, we do have that one. We can do Gomo Kiev infrastructure, which should help support things, and it is 35 days. This one we don't control enough of everywhere to do that, so we will do this. Let's look back at our... Have we? No. See, we already... This unit, I think, came in at like... No, it's... Oh, these two units are being really heavily... Hold. They've taken a bunch of losses, I think. If I remember the strength, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this unit that's coming up to What are you going to see? Kursk area. Let's move you up to here and put you up. Take a little while to get there, I know. Looks like the Finns are battling them up in the north, which is useful for us. Okay, so we've got this railway up to here, down through. Yeah, no connection here. We are holding here. Attacking there, obviously. Okay. Let's put the Weibstandard. Help to that. We're mainly just, again, a delaying force, but okay, we got these guys cut off. So let's get that correct. Is color. Okay, I want to see something here. Is that a supply? And why is that not a supply center, though we don't have it? Oh. Right on scale. Wood. Would be tremendous. Vichy asked permission to rearm. No. I don't trust Vichy France to stay neutral. Italy did retake some territory here. Oh, you're in the same zone as I am, time zone. And yes, I am out in the Pacific time zone. Well, in recent battles here, Italy has lost 2 destroyers and 3 convoys. Britain has lost 1 aircraft. We've been participating with flying boats in these battle, but that was it. Okay, we're going to send this armor into Kalenin. Okay, we've eliminated that division there. Well, if we can take Moscow, that would be important. So, and you guys are going to join the assault. And getting railway link to Moscow would also be important. Well, we sort of would do it through there. Oh, well, hold it. Yeah, we would do it through there. Okay, we don't have to take this right now. The battle for Moscow is actually happening. Okay. That's the important province. Well, let's attack here. Why are we attacking here? Because we are hoping that these guys are wearing down because of lack of supply, though I don't know that they are yet. But it would be nice if they would. Okay, so we've got that. Let's come to here with you. Darien is outside of Moscow. Let's see what we can do mentioning traits. Preferred tactic for his character. I don't know if I want to do that. Logistics expert. We do sort of have the points for this. Non-combat out of penalty supply minus 15%. We've already got Panzer expert. We could do spearhead. Organization loss with moving down by 10% and own control with minus 3% and well, since we're going after Moscow right now, let's do breakthrough back. Improve anti-tank upgrades. Okay, good. We're up to 42 now. That's what we just got. Yeah, we could do better anti-aircraft. I think, or do we want to come back? Oh, let's just do it. Let's again look at our supply. We're having trouble here. We're not, these guys are not so much. Oh, well. Okay, so now, before we were having serious trouble on this side of the river. You can see all these units that retreated back. Well, now that we did not have Orel. So now that we have Orel, we are going to do, let's do something like we did last time. Because we can hit here from 3 directions all at once. If we can get across there, that would be terribly useful. Now here, I think, let's try to pinch out this force here. And we're going to just ram straight into these guys here. And let's grab one division here to support the attacks. They're being hit from 3 sides all at once. Okay, they've moved in more reinforcements there, which I expected, didn't hope, but expected. Let's look back at our air operations. Okay, so we're still not doing much over there. We're doing some good. Well, between their fortresses and air cover, we're just really bashing our heads against the wall. Now, there probably is some level of local supply here. Smoke dischargers, very good. Well, that's a supply hub right there. I didn't realize that. Okay, well. Do note that there is no railway link here. Oh, we just got this port done. Great. So now we have much better supply up into here. I'll put it. So what we want to do here is build that. Just one right now. Just to get that done. That way we can, if we get this supply hub, we can at least get supplies into there. It may not be a lot, but it would be something. What's that? mildly hard. Let's move it just a couple more divisions that way. And all right, and we got smoke dischargers. Well, actually, what I think I should do is look here and look here to see what I need. Okay, Schützen and armored skirts for that, and Tiger H. Okay, 88 gun, double differential transmissions. Okay. For the oh, that was a general purpose. Well, okay. Let's see. Because for Arno, we want to get the right tank. Okay. That, I believe, is the gun we need to get, and we need heavy anti-air dual AT roll thing. So I think we're going back to here. And there, we need this. 70 days, so we're going to do that. Try to get the tigers. Everyone else we're getting supplies over Lake Lagoga. I know supplies can be transferred by river in game, but not sure if it includes the lake. Now, yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't know. I was, and you may be right about that. I was looking for, when I was thinking about the supplies here, I was looking to see if there was a port, but there is no. But you're right. What is this? Because here, this pops up and I see, you know, this is forests. And, you know, more forests. And other more forests. And plains. What is this? Now, I know so many of you, we're getting there, Arno, we're getting there. There are no ports here. I noticed this way back in EU, not EU give a number, just in EU, that there were no ports in the Caspian Sea. I think, well, I don't know if it's something so simple, and that my original thought was, oh, well, hey, nations wouldn't be smart enough to realize if they dumped ships into here, you know, back in EU, that they couldn't go anywhere else. So they just sort of blocked this out as being unimportant. But since every Paradox game that I've ever seen, now I can't say that I've seen Vicky 3, but I've seen a lot of the Paradox games. Every Paradox games, the Caspian Sea doesn't exist. Yes, it's here on the map. Yes, there are some sort of funky province here. But there is no sea operation. See, I click here, this is a sea zone. This is not. Because as soon as I click there and then click over here, it is not a sea zone. It is something. I don't know what it is. And so I think it is a map limitation, a base limitation on the I'm forgetting the Paradox engine, that the Clausewitz engine, that they can only have one ocean because all the rest of the oceans are connected. You do not have a, and these are similar here, the Great Lakes. You do not have the ability to to do it. Now, the U.S. did have an aircraft carrier on the Great Lakes. It was unable, I think, to get out of the St. Lawrence Seaway, and it was purely used, and I don't remember which lake it was on, but it was purely used as a training carrier. So they actually built, not just, because they also built mock-up targets, whatnot, and put them out in the desert for, bombing practice and whatnot. But they actually built an aircraft carrier knowing it wasn't going to go to sea, and it was just set up here in a safe area to train, pilots taking off and landing, and train, deck crews, aircraft recovery and whatnot. So it was a training ship, which is very interesting that the U.S. had that idea that they could, just build an aircraft carrier that, it was going to get use in training, but it wasn't going to be able to be a fleet carrier. And hello, Toy Jet. Lake Ladoga does not allow for transfer of supplies in game, but some mods do add modifiers to tiles in and around Leningrad to allow for Soviets to keep supplies. Paradox plays ports in Caspian. AI would place battleships. It very well might, but and I hear you on that. But with them able to do this, and again, that was my original sort of thought. Couldn't you just add code to every single nation, AI nation, to not place ships here? Now, we do know that there was, by the time of World War II, a canal dug between here, and small ships could go, and they still do, go back and forth. But you should be able to AI code in, do not put anything there. So, yeah, it could be done. Okay, Arno says, or Toyjet says he's all right. Possible to make land sea areas, Great Lakes, accessible to ships with the Clausewitz engine. Yeah, but I think it is with the St. Lawrence Seaway connecting them, I think, as opposed to a completely different ocean. But maybe somebody has and that you can make a separate sea area that does not in any way connect to the greater world. So and again, I don't know. I have not gone in and looked at it. Caspian fleet participated in all major wars in at least 15 years. Right. Both are well. If it's possible, then it's possible. I do not know. I have not tried to mod it. So maybe it just they're lazy and don't try to code AIs to ignore it, or what not. I don't know. Because I'll agree that from a historical perspective, they weren't terribly used, either the Caspian or the Great Lakes in World War II and whatnot, but it's still a bit of a. You have a few divisions still there. These guys. First thing there. Okay, what is in our air? We're still. Oh, our air supply unit is now 0 because we did not have. Oh, here's air supply. Well, okay. Well, I thought we may have lost all of our aircraft. We haven't, apparently. Oh, they're over Novgorod. Well, let's switch them to here. Air supply. Okay, now we're getting some supply there. Ooh. And what we also can do here is click here and oh, it is oh, there we go. Now that should hopefully get more supplies in deeper. Okay, now we're supplying 19 units out of 20 possible. These guys are still just a little bit beyond effective supply, it appears. Yeah, I hear you couldn't be bothered to do so, but when you look at how many games does Paradox, make that this, between Vicky, EU, Crusader Kings, Crusader Kings here, Imperator Rome, Hoy, that they should just figure that one out by now and done that a bit more. Okay, so we've had a fairly good success here of pushing forward. Let's look again at our supply situation between Kursk down here and Orel up here in the north. We're doing pretty well. So let's push more towards a Kursk front to keep the supply. No, I don't keep the supplies. Yeah, flow the supplies. Because that's how we're getting most of our supplies. This is still overstraining supplies there. And our push towards Moscow. Now, I'm not surprised that the AI has reacted and heavily and maybe effectively to our push there. But I'm hoping that, yes, it's doing that. And we will do this. Push in other areas. Now, they're sort of stuck there. Oh, there's two and two. Eh. Pocketing, but I don't think we will so much. One of these divisions will help. Oh, they pushed into here. Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh, they're retreating back. Okay, guys. Well. We'll punish them. It's a infantry attack there. Yeah. Okay, we are across here. Not quite as strongly as I would like. Okay, the Moscow attack stalled out. We, though, are going to attack here now because they're down to one division. Let's move. We've been embargoed by Finland. Yeah, I don't know why Finland hates us, but okay. They do. Back again. Bits and scripts. Well, very good. Off group Nord. Come up this way too. And which I think will allow us to, yes, Panzer 3M. We can now do that. Let's take a look down here. Well, I think that's a good thing to do. I may be putting the cart before the horse, as it were. Oh, well. Where do I... No, no, I didn't do that. Cancel that. Cancel, yes. What I want to do is get more stats. Maybe it's right here. Medium tank. Okay, it's being listed as a medium tank. That's what I want to see. And this is being listed also as a medium tank. I want to see my stockpile. So if I were to go over, switch production, which will disrupt production some. These heavy tanks are all junk heavy tanks. Neubaufahrzeug, only 5 of them. That's correct. Char B1s, yeah, 200, yeah, like, got a KV1 mod 39, yeah, so we got some junk. Now medium tanks, A's, F's, J's, no, none reserve, okay. French junk, Soviet, well, maybe not junk, but Soviet. Back the F. Okay, so we've got a cushion of these. So if we go over to these, I think our medium tank needs, let's take a quick look at this here, which would be medium here, those are still light tanks. Would benefit from these. Let's see our current. Makeup of tanks for this division. Okay, Panzer IIs, tiny bit of Panzer Is, mediums, the Fs, and Ds here. Okay, close support tanks, which are these, not Stugs. Okay. So yeah, I think now would be a reasonable time to come over to this. Take that big hit to production efficiency. Now, we do have another factory. Recon equipment, support equipment. We're, massively negative on that. Cavalry equipment, we're massively negative on that. Uniforms, Garrison equipment. We're actually almost catching up on garrison equipment here. Though not really, but sort of. Heavy artillery, we are down. Light artillery, we are down. And I know some people, and horse transport, we are down. Have been, well, I should put more units into production or training. We do have one, well, 2 tank units in training. But I don't know what our effects are going to be for not having enough uniforms. You know, I really don't know. I haven't looked into the stats. So I really don't want to add more to it. Yeah, that's the F1, I believe. The Panzer IV F1, Arno, that we have the close support, the short barreled. Oh, we might actually get this with that unit there. That's good. We can get that supply source. That would be great for us. Well, I think we're going to, I know we did a lot of talking at the beginning of this because it's sort of the start of the stream. I think we're going to end this episode here. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. See you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of Iron.